Can I just say something?
Go. Pissing me
That
off.
did more damage to African footballers in Australia than canola rice to white Australia. That did more damage. Because of his performances, that's the expectation levels they had of the African players in this country.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
did damage. Perfect. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Slave Show. We back. Look at the vibes. Take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Looking crazy. Damn. Do you know what we're on?
This is the new studio, man.
Funny up.
Money's up.
Shit, man.
Funny's up.
Holy shit. Back, better, vibes are up, new
Better than ever as
studio,
well.
new set. Who else can do this? Haven't met him yet.
No one in the state.
Yet to meet him.
On in the stage.
Yet to meet him.
Well, that's good. It's your boy MJ. You know the score. Mike. Brazil shirt. Hey, can't kill
Mike,
me.
yes, sir.
Uncle Mike.
Yeah, facts.
Can't kill me. What are we saying over there?
Honestly, they're trying to kill you on your back.
Yeah. Like Jesus.
Your back.
I like Jesus Christ.
Resurrected. Like that.
Jesus.
That's why we took such a long break.
Yeah.
We had to get the mental right.
We got him the help he needed.
That's it.
I need help, but we sturdy now. Life's
Yeah,
good.
We're back.
Leveled up.
Look at how we're living. Pengers Techers, let's go. I'm back. Quickest to 1 million still. Let's go. Follow me on IG, TikTok, whatever, Twitter, everything, even Facebook.
500
Let me add your-
followers.
I'll add all your family on Facebook as well.
Fucking hell.
Free of charge.
I'm back from my gap year. Spent a good 6 months in South America backpacking,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm ready to chat with some of my best friends in the whole world.
Excellent. Juju J. Back again for another shift.
That's it.
That's-
It's work. It is work.
It's work. At the end of the day, it's work.
It is, man.
Absolutely.
When you get money,
Shit, man.
it's what it
When
is.
you're getting money, it's different.
What it is.
Jeremy, tell them what they got to do before we kick this off.
We've got to make sure with this new format, this studio costs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting cost a lot. Director, we have an
Yes, sir.
editor now. We got a director.
Full production.
We got everything. So in order to pay for that, we need you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, hit the notification bell to fully grasp every time we post.
Yes, sir.
You know what's funny? Usain Bolt. He's rapping now. He thinks he's got something to say.
Yeah, nah, he thinks he's someone else now. I don't
Thinks
know.
he can talk down Australian football.
Segway king.
Shit, man.
What happened?
All right, so everyone knows. You know, Usain Bolt, who's in Australia, was on trial at probably the worst Central Coast side ever imaginable.
It was the
Ever.
worst Central Coast side.
It's the worst they've been.
Yeah.
It is.
Because
At one point, they were good.
the thing is, it had to be the worst they've been for them to need
Yeah.
Usain Bolt to come just for marketing purposes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But yeah, continue. You continue.
Came through, you know, he had couple trial games against, he played a couple farmers, one game.
Yeah. MPL.
MPL
MPL
clubs.
MPL teams.
Absolutely.
You know, they offered him 150K. He felt violated. His agent said he wanted 3 million.
Is that real?
Wait, they offered him 150.
Yeah.
Oh,
For the season. So they said, we'll
Wait,
give
as
you-
a lump sum.
yeah,
like salary for the year.
they said,
Like they offered him a contract.
they said, it's obviously marketing.
Yeah.
They said 150K.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
He said, hell no, I want 3 million.
Well, firstly,
For what?
Firstly, that's 149K too much.
Yeah. So in a recent interview, he pretty much said he shouldn't have gone to Australia. He should have stayed in Europe because the standard in Australia was not good.
You know what happened?
Stop the cap.
He spent a month at Dortmund. Remember that Dortmund?
Yeah, I remember.
time?
Yeah.
And he thought it was proper.
Yeah,
He thought it was a proper
He thought he
baller.
was doing something.
Yeah. No.
No. And at the time, this was maybe 2019 or something like that. I think
Maybe
it was
even
When he was
no,
here.
maybe
Longer.
2019 or 2020, 2018 maybe.
2018, yeah.
Because
Before.
I remember at the time, I was thinking, still, I can make it pro. I want to be a professional player, whatever, A-League, I want to make it. And then I see Usain Bolt coming to the league, right? Usain Bolt, they're giving him a chance to play. Me, haven't had a chance to play. Usain Bolt, though, he's getting a chance to play. I thought, all right, fastest man alive, fastest man ever, maybe he can provide something. When I saw him come on the field for that game, that could be the single worst stint, 15 minutes off the bench I've ever seen of anyone ever.
Against an NPL team.
Against an NPL team.
Semi-professional club.
Ever. He would be the worst player in an under-20 side in the NPL. He would be.
Absolutely.
Like, simple. And you're not even that fast anymore. So what are you doing?
He looked. I remember the game we watched. They were playing at home, I think.
They were at home.
They were playing at home.
It was in front of the sauce bottles. I remember.
Yeah, and he came. I don't know if he started, but he came on. And I promise you, if you took Stormzy straight from wireless and like just flew him, said like you got a game, come on, Stormzy would have been better. You seen the video of Stormzy taking the pen?
Yeah. Stiff-leg-itis Stormzy.
Yeah. He would have looked better than Usain Bolt.
No, that's the thing. I genuinely could not believe this guy wanted to be a professional. He came out and said, I want to be a professional. And that's what he was putting on. Like, that was the show. Him playing. And he was so bad.
Can I just say something?
Go. He's pissing me off.
That did more damage to African footballers in Australia than canola rice to white Australia. That did more damage. Because of his performances, that's the expectation levels they had of the African players in this country.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
He did damage.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. They associated every black footballer
With that guy.
with that touch, pace,
And if you're not fast, good
pace
luck,
and
bro.
strength.
Who was one of his teammates came out after he left and said, they were like, how do you think Usain went? And the first thing out of his mouth was he had a touch like a trampoline.
Oh, it was Andy Keogh.
Yeah.
He was in the league. I think the top scorer that you maybe or something.
Something like that.
Andy
For
Keogh
Perth.
said,
Yeah.
He goes,
Not like, it's great for the league, like good exposure.
He's got the first touch of a
Nothing.
trampoline.
Yeah. Negative, the first thing that he said.
Because he was horrible. It's even like it's a diss to all the players. If they're offering this guy a contract,
It's disrespectful to every youth player in this.
You have the young players getting paid whatever 70,000, 80,000, and he's getting offered 150,000, and what he's putting on show is so poor. Even all the youth players, I have friends in the Central Coast youth team.
yeah.
They got jumped by this guy and offered a contract, and he's so much worse than them.
It's crazy.
It's just marketing.
Yeah.
I think,
has to be.
100%. But I think the A-League goes through those like periods where they're down, like down
on
low.
numbers,
Yeah, down bad.
And they're like, let's just bump something.
We gotta
right
boost
now.
something.
Let me try something. But the audacity that they even had the decency to offer him
a contract.
and he said, no, I want 3 mil. As his first professional contract, he wants 3 mil. He said, my dream is to play for Man U. Remember?
He's mad.
And he wants 3 mil at his first professional contract at the age of 30 what?
It was like 37.
30-something.
Yeah,
Was he that old?
Yeah, he was old.
When
I thought he was early
retired,
30s.
He was like 32 from sprinting.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was early 30s.
No.
It
I
might have been
swear.
mid-30s.
Yeah,
You gotta
maybe
fact
mid
check that,
30s.
but
Oh,
he
my
definitely
God.
wasn't like
He was not
late 20s.
You should not be having.
He was.
Yeah. How are you having football dreams past your mid 30s? You've never played football before. You have.
And how are you
football
in your
dreams.
right mind being like, I'll happily take a youth player's spot.
Yeah,
I'll happily
absolutely.
take another professional who's trained for 20 years.
Right now he's 35, so he would have been around 31.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But still, he was
Still.
terrible. I couldn't tell with his hairline as well back then, so I thought he was a bit older.
I just don't understand. And at the end of that interview, I'm fairly sure the one he did, it was with Timsy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He said, "Now I'm focusing on my music."
Yes, that's what I'm just saying. He's a rapper now.
So it was your dream for a year.
Have you guys heard some of these tracks?
How can you go from being all of
my
our
days.
most favorite people in the world
Yeah.
to so quickly
One
being
of the
one of my
coolest
most
dudes
hated
ever.
people?
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of my
So
favorite
easy.
athletes
Yeah.
ever.
You're
Did
literally
nothing wrong.
the fastest
Now
man.
he's in my
Yeah,
top
Annoying.
5 most
Yeah.
hated athlete. How can you be
Most annoying.
the fastest man on the whole planet and think that I still want to do something else? Go do something different.
Think it, but you have to have some sort of. It's not even humility, but it's like
It's self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's delusional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In his ability.
Yeah, that's true.
He thinks he's gonna step on the field.
And
He's
do
going to be able to
something.
turn. He's scanning. When has he ever had to scan? You're not scanning 100 meters straight line.
You're running
just
straight,
running. He's only scanning at the end of the race
to see who's next
When he
to
looks
him.
back, yeah.
when he looks back, he's got to scan. He's got to move in not a straight line. he's got it.
I'm telling you, he could not even perform in one of those charity matches. He would not be able to perform.
The thing is, right, I watched the most recent UNICEF World
Soccer
Aid,
Aid or-
Soccer Aid thing, and he's gotten worse. He's worse. He's worse back then. So for me, the fact that he's capping now, because back then he there was an interview and he said it was tougher than he thought. He's talking about when he was in the A-League. He said it was tougher than he thought. He thought they didn't give him a fair chance. He was saying all this higgy hugger, this, that. And now he wants to cap, say, oh, no.
Bullshit.
I don't buy it. I don't rate it.
If Usain Bolt was in ACT MPL, I absolutely
Say
have
less.
no doubts he would score.
Do you think he'd get on the field? I genuinely don't think he would.
He'd be coming off the bench.
Yeah, he would
For
be
a
coming off
relegation
the
side.
bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a
When
relegation side.
you're chasing a loss and you just got to chuck the big man up.
Yeah, up top.
Absolutely.
And he's not scoring
And he can't
anything.
head it.
He's not doing
So,
anything.
Can't head.
And the thing is, probably the worst part about it for me was the interview and the guy, I don't know who you said it was,
Timsy,
but he's going, oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
Really? So not just him, but everyone in the comments,
Yeah.
every
He
single
didn't
person
challenge
who's
him at all.
watching is probably like, A-League must just
Yeah.
be shit. Like, you're way better than A-League level.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't up to his
Yeah.
level.
Imagine if Usain Bolt can't play A-League. He's better than A-League. How bad?
how bad the players are.
Facts.
That's
So
what I mean.
they're just capping.
Agreed.
But that's where the level I think gets.
Yeah, and I think we saw it as well recently. You know, we've had a lot of Prem teams come to Australia. We've had Barcelona come to Australia, and I think that's where we've started to see where do we stand compared to some of these bigger teams.
Segway King back
So
at
it
it
was-
again,
yeah.
bro.
I mean, it was interesting, and I think if Usain Bolt watched a couple games,
Yeah.
you know,
100%. Well, you look at where the A-League is at now, and the Barca game, for instance, it was against A-League All-Stars. But
But still.
you rewind like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago to MLS, and they were doing MLS All-Stars. It wasn't like they were going over there for friendly against Chicago Fire and shit. They were playing against All-Stars. So,
Yeah.
like, yes, you can look at it as a Barca versus All-Stars, but also for majority of that game, Barca were in a game.
They were in a game.
Like,
Big time.
It wasn't a
And
training
it
session.
wasn't with their youth team.
No.
It was a game where they
They had
had
proper players.
8,
They had
9
guys getting
starters
money.
playing.
Yeah.
facts.
That's it.
And the recent game against United, you saw their first team start.
It was the complete first team except for
Victory,
Ronaldo.
and
That's
Victory
it.
scored first. That's what I mean. Like,
facts.
for Usain to come out and say that the A-League shit,
Yeah.
now,
Like,
we're
not
seeing
his
it on a
level.
national stage that they have improved and come such a long way.
Absolutely. If the A-League was shit as well, United aren't coming for a game. They'd come here to play only their, like,
Juniors.
other teams.
Absolutely.
The coach is coming here using all his tactics he's going to use for the season, using all his like the plays he's going to use for the season, and getting ready for the Premier League. You're not getting ready for the Premier League if you think the league is shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Facts.
100%. And you saw, remember when Liverpool came a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
they played Sydney FC, they played half first team, half youth, and
Yeah.
strolled to 3-0.
Yeah, and so now
Easily.
Yeah.
you can see
You're
as much
seeing
as
Prem teams put out their first 11 to
exactly.
Facts.
And Prem teams don't go to, like, even we just watch, if you watch the Liverpool games in Singapore, even when they played Man U, the starters only played for maybe 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
But Man U came here against Melbourne Victory and played their
Played their
starters
first
for
11.
65 minutes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the players that came on were the subs that would come on.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you can just tell now that from a system perspective, A-League teams are starting to really play football that if you were to go to Europe, you'd slot in.
Yeah.
Not maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's difference in level. Some players
Absolutely.
are technically far better and far superior, but in terms of system football, we're seeing it now, and I
Yeah.
think that's why Prem teams, they can't just come here and it's 2-3-0 at half time and it's easy breezy. They're getting put
playing.
to the pace.
Yeah.
And the thing is, one thing I noticed, I remember I had a conversation with Jerome, and he said, I miss the A-League signing big players. I miss them signing and I said, no, because it was COVID, obviously, and they couldn't sign players. But for me, it was better that the youth players were getting a chance, and that now, if you look at all the teams, their top 3 best players, there's at least one young Australian player
Yeah.
is
Facts.
the best players on the team.
And I think now that with the league having been established, you're seeing youth players which have been in a professional setup,
Exactly.
have trained 5 days a week,
Yeah.
have one recovery day and play. That's 6 days a week of professional setup,
Yeah.
10 years down the track. You know,
Is-
you get in there at
Yeah.
12 or whatever it is, they come into the league a fully developed professional.
And
Yeah,
also
when-
now they're getting players that have been in pro setups in England that are still young,
Yeah.
coming to play in the A-League to get their breakthrough. Like, even if
Yeah.
you look at Jake Brimmer, he was at Liverpool
Yeah.
his whole youth career, couldn't break into the first team, came back to
Back
Australia.
to Australia.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think, with what Tom was saying. they're coming in from what it was 10 years ago. The youth teams weren't playing consistently.
No.
There was no funding. I know funding's still low, but now at least every youth team plays MPL, which is against men.
Yeah.
Regardless of if they're 16, 17, they're playing against men week in, week out. And that is only going to prepare them for the A-League because some MPL players and teams, the standards are quite high. Some MPL players are getting paid more than A-League team. A-League
Players, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
And some
standard is
NPL
high.
players are going straight into the first team A-League setup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like a piss around. And if you're a youth player who's been playing from 15, 16, 17, 18 in a men's comp, you're going to be, I guess, more prepared for
Definitely.
the A-League setup.
Yeah.
That's why the A-League players, how many players have we seen go overseas in the last 2 to 3 years?
Exactly.
Taking a big
To
increase.
European clubs.
Big
Yeah.
increase.
I think in terms of football in Australia, if you're a youth team player, it's a good position to be in because of what you guys said. And I feel like when you look at the All-Star game, you had Garan Cole, he came on.
Yeah.
One day. These
playing
kids,
street
these are
ball.
kids, like 16, 17-year-old kids, and with that kind of mentality, they had no fear.
Hunger.
They look
Aaron
like they
Kunda.
fit in. Yeah.
What's
so
the,
it's-
no, they're even the 9 for Melbourne. Falami.
Fulami.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
He literally showed he could play.
And when would that happen? You know, if you look at
Yeah,
5 years ago,
absolutely.
never, ever, ever. But now
That's
you're
what the
seeing
thing
these
is.
kids starting to really like.
That's what I think when
It's
you look at
impressive.
the A-League teams and you see that the starters, young Australians, not even just
Yeah.
being young Australians, but young players. It's not 33-year-olds. There is, of course, there's
But there
still
needs to be
the...
that mix. Because
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
league-
saying. It's not just the
yeah.
the 33-year-olds
yeah.
or 34-year-olds, but there's a good mix of the occasional 34-year-old that played in Europe and they have experience that they can teach the younger players coming up, but then still they know that they have young players that are good and that are going to play next to them
Absolutely.
that can perform.
And now I think it is that mix between a mature player coming from like a decent European league. You've seen like how many ex-La Liga players, but they're like 27, 28
Yeah.
coming to the league. And they're like obviously quality. You don't play in La Liga and you're shit.
Exactly.
Like, you're going to bring quality. So I think having that mix of youth predominantly instead of the old marquee signing. Like I know we've seen Nani come, but Nani has plenty of legs
Yeah.
to play. That's
Oh,
why it's such a
absolutely.
big
He's a machine.
signing. His pedigree, experience,
And-
plus he's in a like good physical shape as opposed to like when Del Piero came. Obviously, it's Del Piero. He's still
Marketing.
lit, but
Is a different league than
his
the-
ability at
Yeah.
the time he came,
Yeah. He's not.
it's not what the league needs in order to grow.
Yeah.
But Nani, as a player, you've seen so many like Socceroos, current Socceroos
Yeah.
come back to the
Come
league.
back. And the thing is, you know, especially with the Nani signing, you know Popovic is not bringing in someone who's not going to run.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel as though the coaches that they have in the setups now are not just bringing someone in because they're a big name. They want to win and they want their teams to be better and they want them to be fit to be able to work hard. So they're bringing in these players that are going to fit their system,
Yeah.
not just because they're a name.
Especially now that we've got the Asian Champions League as well.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a big draw card.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Asian Champions League, Australian teams stay competing for Asian Champions League. I know Western Sydney have won
Yeah.
Asian Champions League, but even the teams in the group stage, you're versing teams that spend money. J League,
Big
K-League.
money.
Money. Yeah.
China,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Think about the money that goes through the Chinese league.
Well, think
in order
about
to
the
compete
A-League.
with those teams, you have to be at some decent level.
a team in Saudi Arabia just offered Ronaldo 105 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And these are the teams we're competing with in Asian Champions
Yeah.
League. So
Facts.
it's clear that with low funding, with a salary cap, and we're still producing enough players to perform and go to Europe.
And regardless, like if you just look at games in isolation, that Brisbane Roar versus Leeds game, it finished 2-1. I don't care who they played.
Highly competitive.
And
against a
even
mid-table English Premier League team.
Premier
Exactly.
League.
Yeah.
Like it's
Premier
not
League.
it's not
It's
a
not championship.
side.
it's not League One, which most people would say
And
A-League
Brisbane
teams
aren't
would
in
be
their
League
season.
One.
Yeah. That's
Like,
that's
it's
the point I was
Their
about
first
to bring
game.
up.
It's their first game.
The thing is, all the A-League teams came to preseason a week early so that they could try and prepare for this game. That's how early into the preseason it is. And Gerrard even came out and said, I watched the game, the Brisbane and Leeds game, and Brisbane were unlucky not to draw or win the game.
Yeah.
Facts. So we can all agree that the A-League, the gap between the A-League and Europe is starting to become a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And as an extension to my question, is money the next big step that Australian football can make, or are there other things in between that are more important?
You mean in terms of developing players or in terms of the league?
Well, let's answer both. In terms of developing players, what's the next?
I think there's not enough money in youth setups to create, to give young players the best possible platform to be as good as they possibly can. Because you need funding for coaches, you need pitches, you need gear, you need all this stuff. Whereas we see the youth kids in the Premier League and stuff, like they're training 3-4 times after school,
free gear,
and they're training on the best pitches. Yeah.
And the thing is, they're recognised from
And they're buying
9,
players
10
from other
years
clubs
old.
at 8 years old.
Yeah, kids are signing contracts at like 8 years old.
9, 10
It's
years old.
unbelievable.
I think onto that, Australia still has that issue of sort of funding upwards.
Yeah.
Whereas in Europe, in South America,
from
you're finding the best kids regardless of where they come from, regardless of their background, regardless of how much money their family has. They're finding them because at the end of the day, they're an asset to those clubs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But here we're still sort of in the mindset of, well, we'll give the biggest opportunities to
the people who can afford it and that are good. It's who can afford
If
it
you can-
and are good.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And if you can break through the cracks when you're
You can't afford
you
it.
can't, you have to be exceptional.
Elite. Yeah.
You can't
Exactly.
develop.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not.
You're already at that
It's
level.
not. Let's look at this kid who's looks like he has very good potential, but he doesn't have the money. Let's just fund his whatever.
That's what I mean.
play
The
from
money's
when
not
he's
there.
young, but instead it's here are the kids that can afford it. Look at them. Let's
Bang.
pick through them and then
Yeah.
go up. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
So I think that, like Tom said, that's a big one. I think obviously the big one is promotion and relegation into the A-League is only going to make it more competitive.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And obviously I think there was a new deal recently where some American investor is like funding, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
150 mil or something
Into-
the A-League, but it's like funneled.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Which
Do
it-
you guys know if there is a regulation on Australian sport with salary caps? Because we see salary caps in basketball, AFL, NRL, A-League.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's a
If there's a rule,
regulation on?
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure. I think it might have a lot to do with like what Jeremy's saying with the way the football model is structured, because
Yeah.
I think because it's structured down up, it means that there's always going to be a limit in terms of like what the players can actually get.
Sure, but that's what I mean. Like, is there no opportunity for a big owner to buy an Australian club?
Well, I was reading
and
about
fund
that.
it through
I was
that.
ready about Chinese investors trying to come in
Because
and buy shares.
at
into
the end of the
A-League.
day, you see billionaires buying Premier League clubs as an investment, as a business opportunity. They don't necessarily, like the Liverpool owners, they didn't know anything about football.
No.
They owned a baseball. They owned a baseball club.
They're doing Moneyball.
But but they use it as a business investment because they're obviously going to make money. So where's the incentive for anyone overseas to buy an A-League club if you can't then put your money into it?
And there's a huge trickle down
money out.
effect on that,
Yeah.
because if you invest in the football, you attract the players. If you attract the players, you attract
That's
the
what I mean.
viewers. And viewing rights brings huge money. So for me,
Yeah.
it makes logical sense to allow that to happen. And you see the A-League in 5-10 years become at the level of the K-League, the J-League,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or even
absolutely.
higher. I read something very interesting. It's a wild theory, but somebody was saying that what could be cool in Australia is if they funded schools, like a lot of football schools, and then they made like an A-League draft. So to
would be
replace A-League youth teams.
I think a draft.
They said that could be that.
Works in
I
AFL.
think even a draft, you have youth teams to a certain age.
Yeah.
And then the draft, and then because
That's-
AFL has a draft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it works.
And it works.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Like I think a draft would be sick in Australia.
I think
especially
because of
it's
Australia.
huge.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And that's how you get those kids, especially I've seen kids from Canberra go to the AFL because of the draft. Whereas with football, from Canberra, you have to go sign for Sydney or you have to go sign for Melbourne. You can't go from Canberra to somewhere.
yeah.
And now incentivize Canberra to be like, all right, we've got 1 or 2 mad schools. Let's invest in these schools because we
Yeah.
want that representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the A-League or
Yeah.
whatever, or in the draft. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it was a cool theory, or it was a cool thing
For
that this guy
It would
came
be
up with.
kinda
And I was
cool
like,
as well,
kind of
like-
fire.
Imagine you get the number 1 prospect going to Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then everyone wants to go and watch Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be
exactly.
hectic.
So
it's sick.
it gets the buzz going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But one thing I also thought about.
It's so like against the tradition
Yeah.
of football.
Yeah.
football.
But one thing I
But
thought
they have it in
about.
America in MLS.
They have a draft in MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They have a
NCAA.
draft. It's like a
Wow.
big thing.
Yeah.
but also they can just sign players who are better than people from the draft. That's what my thinking was. You can just get someone from overseas who's better than the draft players.
Yeah, you can. But does that
Because the idea of a draft is to keep all the teams, like, to make sure it's even, you know? So the bottom team gets the best player, whatever, to keep it even.
True.
So realistically, you could get the number one pick, but Melbourne City could just go and sign someone who's 30 times better.
Yeah, but I think it should work for youth only. Like,
Yeah,
it should be
that
an
makes
age
sense.
lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can still sign players that are 25, 26.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You get the best player in this age group and he's guaranteed
Youth.
this money. And
I like that idea, actually.
That's cool.
It'd be cool to see if they looked into it.
what we were asked was like, in order for their career, is that what we're saying?
Well, we're
For
saying
their
the team.
In order for their career to not stagnate,
Yeah.
they have to have a good year this year.
Yeah.
Basically,
This year.
if you don't perform this year, you're finished.
Finish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we were saying?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think. That's
okay.
what. Is that what you said?
Like you won't, you for the rest of your career, you won't get
You're not-
another big move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like if you don't perform right now, this
this
This is
season,
your last
the
chance.
hourglass is like this,
Yeah.
and the last bits of sand.
There's
is
a
dropping.
couple little,
Yeah.
little
Well,
bits coming.
And
in.
it's only getting flipped if you perform.
the thing is, I got a big list for this because there's a
I got
lot
a
of
big
players
list
like
as
that.
well.
But yeah, what are we doing? Are we saying one? Are we saying what?
We can say
Yeah.
one each.
Yeah.
We'll do one each.
Do you want me to
You
start?
first.
Because
You
I
go
have
first,
one.
yeah.
I have one, and I want to say this one because it's different. It's going to be different to everyone. I think some people are going to not agree. I don't know if you all are going to agree, but for me, this one. Let me just give you a little. Let me give you a little.
Yeah, set the scene.
You want to do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Alright,
Set
go
the
on.
scene.
I'll set the scene. Okay. So this is a player who consistently, I'll say is world class without even having to think. I'll say he's world class, but yet he has not performed at a world class level for maybe 5 years now. 4
Five?
years. 4 years, but he has not performed at a world class level. He hasn't. And now
who it is.
he's got to move back to a club where he did perform originally. And so this season, if he doesn't perform, Paul Pogba is finished. For me, I think Pogba is technically one of the best midfielders in the world.
Denial
On his
percent.
day, one of the best players in the world. But for me, if you don't perform again this year, you've taken a pay cut, you've gone back to a team where you performed, back to a country where you performed previously. If you don't perform this year, you're not finished as a player, you're not shit. But in terms of us saying you're world class every year without fail, saying Paul Pogba's world class, how can we say it? If he doesn't perform this year, that conversation for me is over. Paul Pogba is not world class anymore. If he doesn't perform this year, he's not world class anymore.
Then what is he?
Paul Pogba is just a good midfielder. He just becomes a good midfielder. But no, you can't put him ever in any conversation saying you're one of the best midfielders in the world. You can't put him in any conversation saying world class. Anytime you come up with a comparison, he shouldn't be in it. Because you can't perform one game every 10 games and then me for 5 years straight, 4 years straight, and then me say you're world class. Without fail, me say you're world class every
So you're
year.
convincing yourself.
Has he played consistently?
I
where,
think
where you can argue that based on consistency,
No,
He's not at that
he's played enough. He's played enough. Paul Pogba
Hey.
has played enough. You've played 5. Is it 5 seasons at Man U now?
Yeah,
I
something
think
like that.
15, 16. 5 seasons you've played since then. You've been dabbing. You've been hitting the folks.
My man can
everything.
dance.
You've been dancing. Whatever. For me, at the end of the day, everyone
dancer award, that's for
everyone
sure.
knows you're a top class. Technically, you're top class, but you have not performed to the world class level. Let alone in the Premier League world class level, let alone world class level. So you cannot be, if you do not perform this season, for me, and I think for everyone else, you're finished.
does World Cup matter?
The thing is that I had that conversation with Tom because
Okay.
I said, the thing is, I can say Pogba's finished, he doesn't perform club level, whatever. Then the World Cup comes in the year, at the end of the year, takes France to win it and he's their best midfielder. Then I look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
I look dumb.
Which is going to happen.
Because it's so obviously can happen. But surely a tournament once every 4 years should not make you
There's
world
a part
class.
of me that agrees.
I'm the same.
There's a part.
Yeah.
I think 40% of me agrees. If he doesn't perform, and what's performing? Like, if he isn't
If
Juve's
you're just
best player,
if you're not
is that
Juve,
performing?
if you're not Juve's best midfielder, and you're not
Well, he's gonna be Juve's
you're not
best
one of the
midfielder.
league's best midfielders because you've gone back to do that. You're not going back to just be like a regular dude. You're not going back to just be Juve's best midfielder. You're going back to be the best midfielder
league's
in the
best
league.
midfielder.
So if he's not Juve's best midfielder, which he's going to be, obviously.
Yes.
In terms of player, he is.
He's going to be.
Is he though? Because he wasn't Man U's best midfielder in the past couple of years. He wasn't.
But
Bruno was better.
We've had this conversation.
Bruno was better.
this
He was.
podcast
And I
before.
think Pogba's a better player than Bruno. But Bruno was a better performer for Man U.
This is where I play devil's advocate
Yeah.
because regardless of if he performs now, firstly, there's people who are going to say it doesn't matter. If he didn't
Not
perform
me,
in the
though.
Prem when he was there, he didn't perform. He came back to United, 90 mil. He didn't perform. They don't give a fuck that he's going to Juve and putting in.
Which is, it should be fair though. It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
He went to hide. He's
Because
back in there.
it's not like he came for 1 year. He didn't come for 2 years. He didn't even
but
come
that's
for
what
3
they're
years.
gonna say.
He
So
had.
regardless-
That's what I'm saying. That argument is fair. If he goes back, he does perform. They can say, all right, you can perform there. You came here for 5 years. You came here for 5.
lose.
Not to me though.
No, for Pogba.
It
Yeah,
is.
for Pogba, it's
For
not
the public
lose-lose, 'cause-
football opinion,
It's
it is.
lose-lose.
It is.
Unless he went to Madrid or Barca.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Public opinion. Pogba.
He's
it's
not
at the end of the
viewed
day.
as-
Unless
He
he
can't
takes,
win.
I don't
Unless
think
he
anyone
takes
cares
them.
anymore.
Unless he takes them to a Champions League win,
Yeah.
the world is not going to care.
Nah,
True.
they don't
So
care.
gonna
that's where I'm like, for Pogba, I don't know if this is win-win. If he performs in
But to me, I'm going to say you're not finished. You can still be world class. That's what I'm
I get
arguing.
that.
I'm saying if you go there and you don't perform, you are finished.
But do you think if he goes back to Serie A and performs, he can be world class, even though he didn't do it in the
think
Prem
so.
when he was here for so long, 5 years or whatever?
I think so.
Because there was obviously the first 2 years,
Yeah.
he was
He was
was
good.
good.
He was very
He was
good.
good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like his level was high enough that you're like, cool, he can. Do
He
that.
was still world class. It's cool.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years on and off injuries, he
Gave himself surgery. As did I. Said, I'm starting to agree with you. This guy, I can't trust him anymore.
Maybe I was right. I don't know, but.
I can't trust Pogba.
But is that argument there to be had that regardless of what he does, he's not going to be world class?
Exactly.
Because
there is the
perception.
argument there because it's the same as people are like, oh, Messi and Ronaldo. Messi's never done it in the Prem or whatever. It's always like, oh, Pogba could never hack it in the Prem. He's gone back to
Yeah,
Serie
but
A. He's gone back to the
that's
old
not
man's
what I'm
league.
saying.
I
I
know
get-
you're
I
not
get
saying
that.
that, but that's
Yeah.
the public opinion.
They're all dickheads though.
I think that's a good shout because I think he does have to, for his own sake, in order for him to walk around and dance.
and be on that level.
And
Yeah,
for me
yeah.
to walk around and say Pogba's world class
He
every
has
chance
to.
I get.
He has to be doing something. I want
Yeah.
to see him just controlling every single game. It's more the game.
He
the pace
will,
of
though.
the game is his pace.
It's
It's
and
so-
international.
I want to see it in
Yeah.
Champions League as well.
Like he'll do that, but he needs to be doing a bit more. Like I want to see 8 goals from Pogba. I want
Yeah.
to see 10
Yeah.
assists. No,
Yeah.
10's a lot.
That's
But
it.
8 assists.
8
goals
assists.
in the league.
In the Serie A,
yeah.
10.
and be
absolutely.
dominant too. Just be
Yeah.
dominant
You know
during
he's
the
gonna
games.
go there and games he plays in, he's going to dominate the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether he can.
It depends though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like that shot.
It's a good shout.
There's a
Like what
lot
you
of
said.
players though.
It could be.
For me, there was a couple of players. The first guy I was thinking of was Pepe from Arsenal.
Oh, that's a good shout.
She's finished already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been
For
done for a
me,
couple
like
of years.
this has to be a year where something happens. Otherwise, based on his price tag, based on his wages, based on his performance level, he's finished for life.
No, he is.
Yeah.
Because I,
You don't think he is
life.
already?
I think he's on the
Go back
cusp.
to- go back
He's
to Lille.
he's literally like if this isn't his year, he can have a season this year and leave. Right? If he has a decent season this year, he
Sure,
can go
but
back
if,
to
if
the.
he's good this year, he's not going to a top club.
yeah.
No,
he's
but
not.
what I'm saying is, if he has a solid season and he shows the level he's shown, he can attract better moves because obviously I think he wants to move. I think he can attract better moves. If he doesn't, he's finished.
I'm
Who's gonna
telling-
sign him?
the thing is-
for what money?
No one.
Exactly.
The thing is, what makes me think he's finished. I didn't even think to put him on this list. Nicola Pepe does not come into my mind anymore.
Nah.
Anymore. Thinking about, even when I think about Arsenal, I genuinely
For what?
do not think about him. When I think about
Yeah.
Arsenal's options, I do not
I didn't
think about him.
Okay, so when we're doing this discussion of they have to perform
He's finished,
next
bro.
season, are we taking into account that if they don't play, that's the reason like they don't perform? Like
Nah, I
if
don't
they're
think
not
so.
good enough, so they're not playing. Like
They have
they're
to be
not
given a
getting selected?
chance. They have to be
I
given
don't
a
think
chance.
so. I don't think they- I don't think they-
he'll be given the chance to start consistently. I don't think so. 2, if we're actually looking at it, yes, he's underperformed. He has flopped.
Don't.
He's flopped. 70 million, he's flopped, regardless of how you look at it. But not last season, that just happened. 2021.
Yes.
He was one of our best players. Scored 11 league goals. He scored 15 or 16 in all comps. Like, he wasn't good. No, he wasn't great, but he was good enough.
He showed. He was showing.
But the thing is,
So is it just that this season in isolation finished him? Or are we saying he doesn't?
the thing is, you're not good enough to get
I'm
into
not
this
saying
Arsenal
that.
team.
Yeah.
He's not.
The public perception.
At the end of the day, you're not good enough to get into the Arsenal team above a bunch of 21, 20-year-olds.
Well,
you're not.
It's not.
He's not good enough. Is he better than Saka? No. Is he better than Martinelli? No.
It can be what the coach wants from his wingers.
Yeah.
It can be,
Sure.
You know he's not that player who's going to track back every...
That's what I'm saying.
Martinelli's in the team because of that.
And he wants that.
Unless he
Which is
leaves,
fine,
he's
but
finished.
That doesn't mean he's finished.
Unless
That's what
he
I'm saying.
leaves, he's finished.
Because my argument is he hasn't been given enough of the chance to say that he's finished right now. I think there's been variables that somewhat are out of his control, which have put him here.
Sure.
But I'm saying,
Absolutely.
given the opportunity,
Yeah.
if he doesn't perform, then you can argue, all right, it's a wraps.
The coach who signed him gets fired
I
in
think
his
he's finished.
first season, right? In Pepe's first season, the coach who signed him gets fired.
Yeah.
Okay? So Pepe's been there for 4 months. Coach gets fired. That signs him. Arteta comes in. Isn't a fan. Is that entirely his fault?
No.
It's
it's not entirely his
fault. Him not being good enough to break in, but him not fitting the system.
Do you think of Pepe as an Arsenal
it's a
option
bit
at
of
the moment?
both.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I genuinely, when it comes to my mind, I'm thinking about Arsenal's players. Who are their options? What realistically does the team look like? I do not even think about him playing in the team.
But in terms of Pepe, do you not think that good enough players can adapt to a new system
think
and
so.
perform in that
I
system?
do.
I
but
agree with that.
I don't think when a coach similar to Pep, similar to Arteta, have not saying they're the same level of coach, obviously, but when they have that
Perception.
idea
They
in
have
their
similar
head, when they
ideologies,
have the
yeah.
perception
Bang,
that
it's a
player
wrap.
can't do this job, then
They're done.
They're not gonna play them. And you've
true.
seen
Pep
Guardiola
do it with
players who are a lot better than Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, these players aren't going to get a chance to play because immediately you do not fit in the philosophy of the team. You're not going to do exactly what I ask, and we're going to get better use out of somebody who's worse than you, but can run.
And there's
Can we
time-
argue that with, like, for example, the Grealish signing, and Sterling being in and out of the team,
yeah, of course,
like
Yaya
that.
Toure.
Yaya Toure.
But the thing is, with some, it's been true. Like with Ronaldinho, he was finished. When he got rid of him, it was finished.
Yeah, but Ronaldo
He wasn't bad.
not
He was
a
having issues.
professional.
But then
he was having
not a
issues
professional
prior to
player.
But there's
Guardiola
some
as well.
players where they haven't been finished.
Pepe-
Like Samuel Eto'o going to Inter, winning the treble, he wasn't
Of
finished.
course, and until Pepe
Like
leaves,
that's what I'm saying.
You won't know.
If Pepe doesn't leave this season, at the start of this season, he goes a whole nother season doing nothing.
yeah, but he's
What happens?
realistically at the end of next season, he's 26. It's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
but
it's
who's
not Ronaldinho.
signing him? Who's signing
He's
him?
not going out. What?
Who's signing him?
He can go back to France and
He-
go to any team except for PSG.
I think with him, he's got enough talent to move back to France and perform at a high level.
absolutely.
And remind everyone that, oh, okay, this
I
guy
don't know
is
what's
Absolutely.
going on with
I
Pepe.
think you're being because he's not the type of player to track back every transition. Every time they lose the ball, he's not going to be like Martinelli. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're
makes sense.
disregarding his ability.
talent-wise.
I think he's good. I think Pepe is a good player. But I think in terms of you being signed for 72 mil and you not playing, now it's come to the point where you don't play at all. He doesn't even come on with subs. They make 3 subs ahead of him, or he's the last sub.
Is that back to the argument of what the coach expects
Yeah.
from
What
those
the coach
players and
wants. What I'm
he's
saying
not
is-
willing
Yes.
to bring at this point in time?
I'm saying if Pepe doesn't leave, he's finished.
I'll say, to your point, if Pepe doesn't leave this season,
He's finished.
or perform this season, his Arsenal career is finished, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
But I don't think his career is finished, and I don't think he can't get back to the level which made him good if he goes back to France.
Fair call.
I don't think he ever gets back to that level. And being signed by a big team, I don't think he ever gets back to that level.
Man, these African guys are
I think he
unpredictable,
could.
though.
I think if he leaves at the end of this year and he's 26, he goes back to France, has 2 good years.
Maybe. We'll see.
He could move to Germany.
He signed to Arsenal 24. He'll be 27 when he leaves, or whatever, 26, 27.
At least 5 years at the top.
I guess we'll have to see
If you
on
want.
that one.
Yeah.
Mine is it's a category of player that I've thought about a lot, and it falls in the grey area of not being good enough for an elite team, but being too good for the next step down.
Interesting.
So it's someone that excels at a very, very good club, makes the next step, can't quite handle it. Someone similar to Coutinho, Antoine Griezmann. This player is Memphis Depay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a very good one. That's a very, very good one.
So PSV, not a very good league. Their best player by far.
Yep.
Goes to United, big club, hard league. Didn't quite cut it.
Yep.
Goes to France at Lyon. Incredible. Their best player by far, one of France's best players.
Yeah.
Barca, couldn't cut it.
Okay, so
Can we argue about?
yeah.
Yeah, you go.
I was just going to say that falls into a similar thing with Pepe, just only with Barca, because when Koeman was there, for the start, Barca weren't great, but he started off on fire and he was scoring a lot of goals and he was their top scorer, almost the league's top scorer. But as soon as Xavi came in, he X'd him from the whole team, kicked him out, put him on the bench, was barely... This even before they got Aubameyang, they were playing Luke de Jong over him.
Yeah.
And so it's that might be a bit similar. Someone who doesn't track back. Someone
In a way, yeah.
But I feel like he works.
But I completely agree.
He does work.
I think, yeah, to your point, if he doesn't perform at wherever he is at his next season, he will not be viewed as
That's what I
a
mean.
player who's
You don't perform at Barca this year, you're gone.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
leave Barca.
I think he's leaving, yeah.
And-
automatically go to a worse team.
You're automatically going to a worse team, and if you don't perform there, your next move is Turkey.
Your next move's done. You're done.
Absolutely.
You're
Yeah.
done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or you're
And
going-
he should.
Especially
Yeah.
his
Ability-wise,
This guy.
he
He's
should be
got
able
it.
to go to Man U right now.
He's got it.
Start 9. Like, if
Yeah.
Ronaldo leaves, he would seemingly seems like a good option. Dutch
Yeah.
coach, system. Like, he seems like a player who would fit that role. But
he has the talent
nobody,
as
but
well.
I feel like nobody really wants Depay.
Yeah,
Nah.
except
Yeah.
I did see now he's linked with Tottenham. Did you guys see that?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
no.
Apparently Tottenham have put it.
For what?
But that's a step
Yeah,
down.
it's
It
a
is
step down. No, it is, but that's still a big club willing to pay for him for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, but you're not going to the biggest
Start.
club in the
And
league.
you're not starting.
You're not going to
And you're not
start.
starting. Yeah.
And you're not going to challenge.
Yeah.
You're not really in for a trophy, a
Yeah.
big trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
It is a step down, of course.
I think for me, he's one of those players that all the ability in the world as a 9. He can do almost everything to a decent level as a 9. But I think he lacks some sort of...
There's something. It's got to be something.
I don't even know what it is.
I think it's
I
the
think
mentality.
He's not
Mentality,
He's not
maybe.
elite in any area.
No, he's
yeah,
not.
he's not. He's not an elite goal scorer. He's not like an elite dribbler, elite
No.
whatever.
But
Not
no,
as good,
but he's extremely
very
competent
good.
finisher.
And
He's extremely
on the ball,
competent
he's
dribbler.
very good.
His
Yeah.
touch is incredible.
Back to goal.
Positionally, he's good. He's strong. He's quick. But he's not the quickest. He's not the strongest. He's
Yeah.
not the tallest.
Yeah.
He's not the best finisher.
Yeah.
He's not the best dribbler.
Positionally, he's not
That's-
the best.
that's
either.
very
And that's
true.
where he falls in that category where it's like you're good enough at everything to be very good
Facts.
at a decent level club like Tottenham, like Lyon,
Yeah.
but you're not good enough to be the good at an elite level club.
Facts. And if you look at like forwards or wide players or attackers that are considered one of the best, they excel in specific
Look at Salah,
things.
shit at most things, but exceptional goal scorer.
Unbelievable at specific things.
Yeah.
And I think he lacks that.
Yeah.
And that could be a mentality thing. You know, he cares more about like, you know, the vibes instead of being like, I'm going to be a killer or a dog
Yeah.
at this shit.
Apparently his new song's good as well. I haven't heard it, but apparently
heard a
it's
little
lit.
snippet. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think I heard it.
apparently it's decent for a football.
Yeah, because I heard some of his
Somebody
old
else
songs.
raps as well.
Yeah, Promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's in
quit.
jail.
You know, he
Yeah,
quit
he's in jail.
football.
Yeah, he's going to jail, bro.
Pursued a career.
Oh, he's in jail.
Yeah, he's catching M charges left,
I
right,
think
and
he shanked
yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
That's whole lot of gang shit. Quincy.
I can see Depay. The funny thing is, I could see him going to Villa, and like for some reason, I'm like, that's the move
Yeah.
that he's gonna make.
But in the same sentence,
Not saying it's good.
I can see him being a backup for Liverpool.
Yeah,
And everyone being like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sick. That's a
Yeah,
sick sign.
that's a good signing for a backup.
yeah.
But if you woke up tomorrow and it was like Villa signed Depay 35 mil, you were like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna.
Or it's like
good.
They signed a new striker.
Sevilla for
like-
25 mil signed
Yeah.
Depay. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh,
makes
that
sense.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
he went there.
Exactly. More so than if he goes to Juve or Bayern or
Yeah.
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 like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could kind of see him going you.
No, you could obviously. They've
Yeah.
signed Morata 8 times.
Yeah, they could go you.
But I don't know. What do you think he has to do next year in order for him to?
He has to start.
Yeah,
He has to.
He's not going to.
He's not going to.
He has to leave.
They signed.
That's what I'm saying.
a big
If he
dog.
doesn't
Yeah.
leave, he's finished. If he
But does
doesn't
that fall
leave,
into the same? Then Pepe, he's not given the opportunity.
no, I think Pepe's
He's not
young
given the
still.
opportunity
because he's not going to get the
Depay
opportunity.
would be a similar age.
I think he's 27, surely.
He's
I
not
thought he was older than
He's
that.
not getting the opportunity at Barca this year.
But the
so
thing
if
is
he
with-
stays and
Yeah.
doesn't play, is he
Actually,
then
no, he's
finished?
probably 27.
I think he's finished.
True.
I
Because he's not
think he's
playing.
finished.
Who's
not
he playing
playing.
over?
He's 28.
Yeah,
And he's not mad
Yeah.
like, he's not going to be like mad devoted to football because he's putting out music and shit all the time. I feel as though you're only going to go down from Barca. It's just going to keep going
Yeah.
down. And if you don't perform at the next club you're at, you're finished.
You know what it
get
is?
that
It's
bounce
all them
back
swag dudes. They're the ones that
Yeah.
have
That's what it
problems.
is.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's the drip gods that have
Pre-game
problems.
drip, those
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely.
Issues. Except for
Jeez.
Benz.
Yeah. Yeah.
not.
But he's like Pablo Escobar.
yeah. Absolutely.
he's
He's
wearing
like-
linen pants.
Yeah, he's like cool, calm. Jeremy, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, so I have two for very different reasons.
Good, good.
Maybe I'll say the two and you guys tell me who you want me to go with.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So my first one is Rashford.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
nice.
said that.
I like that.
Yeah.
And
He was on my
obvious. I feel as though it's more obvious. And my second one is is Lukaku. Because
He was on my list as well.
the amount of garbage that's come out of his
Yeah.
mouth, he's forced himself back.
The thing is,
Chelsea still owe into 70 mil
Yeah.
of that money,
Yeah.
and he's now back.
Mhm.
Well, you can pick which one I do, but
the thing is, both is a very good. You can make good arguments for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Rashford, as much as him and Martial both is their do or die seasons,
I think Martial's got a bit more.
No,
Do you
he
know?
doesn't.
I
No.
honestly
I
do.
think
He doesn't.
I think
think
the
Martial
gaffer
has
has
less.
been like, oh, Martial
you're
9.
lit. Yeah.
You're not
Maybe
bad.
we don't need a 9.
Yeah,
That's what I
not
think.
bad.
I think
Martial less than
United want a winger more so than they want a 9. They haven't even been linked with any 9.
They do
Rashford
wanna
doesn't
win.
know where he wants to play. in my
Anthony's linked
opinion.
every single week to Man U.
Yeah, but
So you pick. Who do you want me to do?
I
Pause.
don't know. You guys.
Do Rashford. Lukaku's too obvious.
Yeah.
Everyone,
And funny.
everyone knows
Lukaku,
about
you got
Lukaku.
you escaped by this
And it's
much.
similar to the Pogba one.
By this much.
It's-
no, it's not
not.
similar.
It's
not. It's
this
way
guy
worse.
is
Nah,
way
you
worse.
have to
It's
perform
way
because you
worse.
talked so
Yeah,
much, so you have
absolutely.
to perform.
You went for 100 mil before we get onto
Yeah.
Rashford. We went for 100 mil.
Yeah.
Then you come out mid-year
Mid-season.
3
and
months.
say
3 months.
Mad.
and say
December.
and say I don't
say
like it.
Inter's
Here.
my home. I don't. I
That's
wanted to come back,
Adebayo drip.
but
Yeah.
no, I'm not really into it now.
Yeah.
Then you get benched for Havertz, who scored 3 league goals.
Yeah, facts.
And then he's now the answer.
Yeah, and then you go back for free.
Yeah. For free on loan.
On loan.
And that Chelsea still owe into 70 mil.
And you said I was performing because the system at Inter was perfect for me, but the coach is not even there anymore.
It makes no sense.
Hold on 2
Who
seconds.
knows?
So let's go. For my selection of a player who must perform 2022-23, Marcus Rashford. I have all the appreciation,
Yeah.
love in the world.
Incredible
I don't
human
have
being.
all the love in the world, but appreciative of everything he does outside of football. Because of football, outside of football. But my guy, you have to do something.
You can't be 25 and not have a position.
You can't be Thank you. You can't be 25 and not have a position. You can't be 25 and you wear the number 10 at Man U and you don't know if you're going to start. I feel as though whichever coach is in, you seem to play a role, but then you don't play the role. But then you play the role, but then you don't play the role. You don't know if you're a 9. You don't know if you're a winger.
Facts.
You've performed in possibly, I don't know, we'll say 10% of the season.
Last season, yeah.
Yeah.
Of last season.
Yeah.
The season before, he was decent.
Yeah.
And the season before that, he
COVID
was,
season,
the season
where there
before
was no
that,
pressure at all.
no, but the season before
Yeah.
that, he was
Good.
extremely good. He scored 20-something goals in all competitions.
I think that was the COVID season.
No, that was the year before.
Oh, okay. Well, he
Yeah.
scored high then.
Yeah, and then the COVID season, he scored less.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
regardless, I think your off the field activities they have to somewhat take a halt. You have to get a business manager. You have to get a friend.
No.
Somebody has to run.
No.
He needs
Run the
help.
shit.
Jeremy just said,
He needs
stop
help.
helping the kids.
No, I didn't.
No.
He said, pause on helping
No.
the kids.
What did he
Get
say?
better at football. That's what he said.
Nah, I
He
said you
said-
have to get somebody in to run your stuff for you while you are present at training.
He is present at training.
Well, obviously, he's not, because he's not improved as a footballer. You can't train 5 times a week and not improve. Yes, you've been injured, but realistically, you have all the facilities in the world to be the best you can be, and you're getting worse from when you're 18. How that happens,
Yeah,
I think
it's
Rashford
true.
has a complex where, because he's gotten the number 10, he thinks he's like a regista. Like, he thinks he's the guy who can...
Create.
Yeah, he's
But
got an identity
he's clearly
crisis.
not.
Oh
He's
my
clearly not that
No,
guy.
he's not.
Even if you watch the Melbourne victory game,
Oh.
he was dropping into the 10, trying to play balls through the lines. I was
He's
thinking,
playing like he's wearing Copas. When like, you're fast, go
Stay on the
one-on-one
line,
and
get
bury
the
your
ball to
chances.
feet, and kick it and run.
go 1v1.
That's all you need to do.
In the game. Otherwise, why are you playing wide?
Get in the
You
channels.
You're not Neymar. You're not a winger who's got that ability
yeah, you're not.
to beat players and pick a pass
Yeah.
or cut inside, link with players, get a finish. You are a direct
You are the
footballer.
end ball.
You are the end ball,
Yeah.
and you're playing as if
Yeah.
you're Zidane playing on the wing.
Yeah.
Like, it for me, it doesn't
Facts.
make sense. And I think in order for him to stay as one of the best players in England, stay as one of England's best players, you have to perform.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially for the first 4 months of the season
World
before the
Cup.
World Cup. Saka is ahead of him. Sancho is ahead of him. Grealish is ahead of him. Foden is
Sterling.
ahead of
Sterling.
him. Sterling automatically is
Harry
ahead of him
Kane.
without playing game. If Sterling doesn't start one game going to the World Cup, he's still ahead of him.
Bowen's ahead of him.
Jared Bowen is right now there. So that's my argument.
And then Harry Kane, obviously.
yeah, he's not playing 9 for England.
Yeah.
No.
The thing is, like you were saying, he's playing so weird that it seems as though he watched Sancho come into training and thought, this is like, the way Sancho
like,
plays,
yo,
he's like
this is
kind of
cool,
cool.
man. It's
Like,
like
he's
this.
getting
Yeah,
megs,
yeah.
like Sancho's doing cool
Jeez,
shit.
yeah.
Even though he's like not scoring, people don't really care. Like, they're like, Sancho, he's good. And he's like, let me try and do that. But he can't. He
cannot.
literally can't.
No, he can't.
That is not your game, Marcus.
He cannot.
Marcus Rashford.
It'd be a monster 9. Just for me, I think, and Mourinho said it best actually. Mourinho said he doesn't know what he wants to do. If he did know, he'd be scoring 15, 20 goals a season in the Prem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
That's
more
true.
do you want?
And his sort of player mold type is, if you wanted to play 9, you could be a Aubameyang with much more ability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
More.
So you could score 25 goals a season, but with a lot more ability.
Absolutely.
It could be similar to second half of the season, Mane last year.
But you don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
That's
Nah,
literally
that's
your
his game.
build.
That's
Why
his
you
game.
want to play 10
Why
when you've got all the attributes
you have the
to be a
second best 10 in the
forward, like,
league?
a clinical striker, a clinical winger, inside forward, whatever. You can
Absolutely.
play any of those positions
Absolutely.
if you put your mind to it. And he's posting, oh, it pisses me off. He's posting like them like edit training videos of him just like running.
Like with the heart, shirtless with the heart monitor.
Yeah,
on.
like you need to be doing finishing. You need to
Of
be
course
doing-
he is though.
you
He's
need-
doing it.
Don't post you running.
He's doing it.
You're an athlete, a pro athlete. We know you're fit enough to play. Do some fucking finishing or some shit. I'm watching Nketiah do finishing. Nketiah will finish with more goals than Rashford.
No.
If they play the same amount of games, goal to game.
No, he will not.
No, I think so.
bookmark it.
Based on
Nketiah's not
right
gonna
now.
play
We're watching Nketiah off season. He is working.
All right, how did we get here?
And
How did we
Rashford
get
looks
here?
like this is the last dance. It looks like this is the last dance for Rashford.
Look,
like
it
if he
doesn't.
doesn't do it right now,
To me, it doesn't. To me, I think Rashford has this season to be average. Then next season is his last dance.
Nah, no way.
I don't think this season is his last dance.
I think
He
this
can't
year,
be.
Rashford.
if he plays like
I don't
shit,
think it is.
he stays in the United squad and just drops down. They keep buying players in front of him, and because he's the United guy, he stays in the squad.
he
He
stays
plays
in the squad,
He
yeah.
plays 15 games a year. He scores
If he
4
wants that.
goals.
That doesn't
If he
happen.
wants
It
that.
doesn't happen.
That's what he
It's
does
not
for the rest of his
happening.
career.
Rashford-
If he doesn't do it,
Rashford's trajectory right now, his next move is Palace.
No, it's
Yep.
not happening.
absolutely.
It's not happening.
or it's Newcastle when they get a bit of money and he
Yeah, I'll
and
go
he
with that.
underperforms.
Yeah.
Because one week he plays on the wing, 1 week he plays 9.
So I hope for him he performs.
I hope he performs as well.
I think he is
I
going
like
to.
him as
I think he is
I
going
like
to.
him as an individual.
But I don't want him to be
Not so
finished.
much as a player.
Like, he just shouldn't be finished.
He's
Of course he shouldn't be finished. That's what we're saying.
18.
Yeah, and he hasn't improved.
He's surely
improved.
25.
Of course but
He's
it would be
improved.
about he hasn't improved from 20, I think.
In the last 5 years, he hasn't improved.
Yeah.
Since he scored that pen against PSG, he hasn't gotten
that's
better.
what
He hasn't gotten
I
better.
agree.
That's what we were saying earlier.
That's the last season I think he's performed. And that was Neymar's first year at PSG. Second
So
year.
that's 4 years ago.
Second year.
He's 20. He turns 25 this year. By the end of next year, he'll be going into 26.
All right. So
Come on.
No.
Say it.
No.
Say it.
For forwards, you just don't get like the luxury of just.
No, you have to perform straight away.
okay, you have to perform.
It's
You do.
unfair.
You have
but
to
it's,
perform.
It's the reality.
It's unfair, absolutely.
Especially at United.
But we're being way more lenient to Nicola Pepe than we were to
No,
Rashford.
we're not.
We are.
Rashford gets the opportunity to play every year. He gets the opportunity to start every year.
And he says, "No, I want to play 10."
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Pepe
play-
is
just
the
play 9,
Pepe
guys. I'll
is
play on the
currently the
wing.
6th option. Rashford is.
He's
They
gonna
want
start.
him to
The
be the
players
first
starting
option.
over Rashford.
There is none.
Is only because they're like, what are you doing?
There's not
Like,
going to be.
This is your
if you
spot.
think
What are
about their
doing?
front three right now,
How is
Martial's-
Martial in front of him?
I'm looking at Alanga in training videos doing finishing left foot, right foot, and I'm like,
did see that
I don't
video. He
even
looks
like Alanga.
good.
I don't like him as a player. I'm like,
in that
maybe
drill,
he's
he
gonna
looked
start.
good.
He will start.
He looked
At the
good.
moment, he's ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Based off last year.
Martial went on loan to Sevilla, came back. He's ahead of Rashford now,
But he went on loan to Sevilla and they said, we do not want him back.
Yeah.
and he's ahead.
And how is he ahead of him?
He's not.
And
We
Rashford's
don't know
been
if
doing
he's ahead.
GPS.
He's ahead.
Nah, we don't know.
doing GPS.
Martial looking nice.
Rashford sends his heart monitor to
Just because he
Ten
grew his hair
Hag
back
after every
does not.
session.
Just because he grew his hair back does not mean he's not. He is literally one game away from being finished.
I prefer
Martial.
Martial to Rashford anyway.
No,
As a 9.
no way.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a player, yeah. God,
He's a better
yeah.
as a
nine.
player.
No,
He's so
in terms
silky.
of level of
Just
who's
because you
gonna-
had Rashford in your most techie players,
Just,
doesn't
I'm
mean
telling
that
you,
we think
in
he's
terms
good.
in terms of who's going to be finished quicker, Martial pause. Martial is finished.
Martial has more ability, so I don't think he'll be finished quicker.
I think Rashford has. He's going to be. Rashford has more to his game than Martial.
No,
at the
he
moment.
doesn't.
No,
No,
he
he
doesn't.
Martial has nothing. Did you guys watch
No,
him
he
play
This
for
isn't a
Man U?
Martial versus Rashford argument, but he doesn't.
Martial's game went downhill when he started playing wide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but did
as
you
a-
see? No,
as a-
when he
but
got
did you see?
shifted-
We watched him play 9 last season, and he looked
Yeah, I'm
so
saying
bad.
So before the whole wide incident, as a 9, he was he was elite.
When's the last time you remember
Ability-wise.
Martial being good?
Not the same season Rashford was good.
Rashford was decent though the next season.
Well, I don't know, but I'm saying the same season Rashford, you claim Rashford was good.
Oh, I don't
was
know.
good.
Rashford, come on, man. Far
He's
out.
done.
Just play on the wing
he's
or
done.
play 9. Just pick one, score 15 goals, score 20 goals, whatever. Just be
If Rashford
lethal.
scores 15 goals, I'll be like,
If he scores 13 goals,
Good job.
you're happy.
yeah, now because he's not
From
as
the
good.
wing,
No,
yeah.
but 13. Oh, on the wing, 13.
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
the wing.
13
Because
on
he's
the
not
wing.
playing
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
But playing 9, even if you score 13.
He's not.
You guys
Ronaldo's
still rate
ahead of him.
Richarlison. You guys still rate whatever. He scores
Who?
13. Yeah, me loves Richarlison.
Richarlison plays for the shittest team. They finished 18th.
All right, so what if he doesn't score now?
if United finished 18th, Rashford scores 10, cool.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yeah.
But it's not the
That's true.
same.
That's true.
That's true. That's very true.
Sorry, mate.
There's a freaking long list of these players as well.
So how you made this into Martial versus Rashford? You lost the Rashford one, and then you lost the debate.
Yeah, of course he's going to lose Martial versus Rashford. Martial is talented. You know, he's just a dickhead.
I think he's forgetting he's actually a baller.
You need
He's
the rest, you
an
need the rest of my
idiot.
list? Ready?
Yeah,
Firmino, Firmino, Ndombele,
he's already done.
Werner, Pogba, Dybala, Varane, Maguire, Asensio, Van der Beek, Lukaku, Martial, Messi, Neymar.
Oh.
Hey, how the hell are Barca making these signs? What's going on over there?
Hey, they're your club.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man, you kicked this off.
Yeah,
this
they're
is
your
your
third.
team.
Firstly, this
It's
is
your
not my club.
It's your family club.
Yeah, it's not my club, but
You are Marcos.
I'm literally every day struggling to figure out how what is going on is going on. I saw Fabrizio come out and say me and the people in football, the agents, everyone in football have no idea how this is happening. They have no idea how Barcelona are signing all these players, how they are paying for this when they are close to $1 billion in debt. No, $1 billion euros in debt. $1 billion pounds in debt.
1.2 billion.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So tell me how they've gone 1 week, they say Rafinha signed for the club. Another Brazilian, join the list of Brazilians. 50 million, here you go. We'll slap that one on. This is without selling anyone yet. 50 million, slap that one on. The next day, or the week later, they're posting pictures of Robert Lewandowski in Miami in Barca gear. Another 50 million, slap that one on. 50 million. This is while they signed Kessié on a free but paying his wages. This is while they still owe players. This is what Christensen, more wages. This is why I genuinely, it does not make sense to me, because they owe De Jong 19 million. Yeah, they owe De Jong 19 million. They owe Liverpool 23 million for the signing of Coutinho. Coutinho already signed for another club. He's not still at Barca.
And crowd, just to get things straight, we're not childish, and we know like you can owe teams money.
We know most clubs are in
debt.
Yeah.
Chelsea owe
structure deals
into 70 mil. We know that. We know we're still probably paying for Pepe.
Yeah.
But we're signing players that are 50 mil. That can happen. Obviously, we're not stupid, but
how does it go? How does it go from 1 week we need to sell De Jong? It goes from we need to sell De Jong, cash in 70 million, we need it. Because the next week I'm seeing they've just signed Lewandowski and now they're about to sign Koundé for another 50 mil. How does that make sense?
Yeah, keep going.
Because that genuinely, my mind is boggled. 50 mil here, 50 mil there, 50 mil here. Ousmane Dembele, new deal.
You know what makes it worse is that I was reading, people are like, how are Barcelona getting through their fucking life with no investment from an owner? They're not owned by anyone.
How?
You see Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle now all get investment from large Saudi Arabian or whatever it is.
You know what the craziest part is?
And they're putting money into the club. Oh, you want $100 million player? Cool, we'll give you $100 million.
I sort of think
how?
They're working at, this is just purely club, 250 million a year loss.
Yeah.
That's what they're working at. 250 million a year. The way they're working, 250 million. And they're building their stadium. They're upgrading the stadium, building a whole roof on it, taking it over 100,000 capacity.
Plus COVID.
Yeah, plus COVID. Not to mention they begged how many players to take
pay cuts.
Had to get rid of Messi.
Some did.
They had to get rid of Messi.
Yeah.
PK, Jordi Alba,
you
Busquets.
had a player on £1 a week.
And you got rid of him.
And you had to get rid of him.
£1 a week, they got rid of him. He was getting paid £1. Danny Alves, £1 a week for the club.
And you didn't say goodbye.
They didn't say goodbye. £1 a week.
Left.
Where do you reckon this started? Did this start from like the Neymar signing?
I think it's that.
The Coutinho signing.
It's when they sold
Griezmann
Neymar.
signings.
It's when they sold Neymar. It's got to be. You went back-to-back seasons. This is completely...
and they had a ban as well.
So you got 222 million, right? But you went back-to-back seasons signing Ousmane Dembele 120 mil, Felipe Coutinho 120 mil, Anton Griezmann 100 mil. And on all those players, Coutinho sold for 20 mil. And Griezmann, he's on loan.
Dembele
I think
injured.
It's still option to buy. Yeah. And then Dembele just re-signed for way less. Yeah.
But he re-signed.
But he's re-signed.
You've got money
so
to re-sign.
all those three players that you just put money into, De Jong, who you signed for also 70 mil, you wanted to sell, but apparently now this week you're not selling him. All these players... And this is with signing Gavi, Pedri, Ansu Fati all to new first team deals.
And they're
Araujo, new first team deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way they're set up currently, it's just so mind-boggling to see how like both stories can run parallel.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And apparently nothing affects the other.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like
how?
I literally saw today they're linked with Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
And value him at 80 mil. Like they're ready to pay 80 mil for Bernardo Silva.
They're ready with the money.
Yeah, like they're ready.
So they got it.
Apparently they have the money. But these stories are just like going like this.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
They beat Chelsea to Rafinha.
And Chelsea, like...
They're about to beat Chelsea again to Koundé.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they signed Lewandowski, a striker who's 33 or 34 for 50 million.
And you have a high salary as well.
Yeah, of course.
Because I read as well that they're already in breach of their salary cap
I saw
level.
that as well.
So pretty much it's the La Liga have like their protocols. UEFA has their protocols. So UEFA, I think what usually happens is clubs are allowed to go in the negative because UEFA can choose to investigate. That could be 1 or 2 years. So that by the time they investigate,
they've got all
you
the
guys
players.
are 1 billion in debt. That's not good. You know, you got to sell them, or next season you can't buy anyone for 1 or 2 windows. But what's happening is La Liga is also saying you guys you're in breach of your salary cap. So it's weird because they can breach the salary cap now, which means that in the next season they have to lower their salary bill.
Yeah.
So it's
I saw a thing and it said if they don't make up 17 million or something in
70, isn't it?
maybe 70 million in salary, like
Is this about them not registering?
yeah, so they can't.
Yeah.
So they've signed all these players, but can't register
you
them
can't register
to
them, yeah,
play.
because
They can't register them to
Yeah.
play.
So what are they going to do?
So
Well,
they
the
have to,
deals
they,
can fall through.
so they have to make money either through loans, which they're already in debt, or from sales. So what they're doing now is they're selling some of their viewership rights. So that they've got an agreement now where they've agreed that we can sell up to 25%. I think they've sold
Their La Liga rights.
11%
Yeah.
or something like that. For
it
the
was like
next 25
300 mil
years
or some shit like that.
for the next 25 years.
25.
25 years.
That's what they're
Right?
doing.
Which, if you're an investor, right, I think investors now are like, we need to jump on this because Barcelona now, they're not making money, but they could make money in 10 years.
They're
They
the
could be
lowest of
so
lows they're
rich.
ever going to be. This
You know
is
what
the
I mean?
lowest.
Oh my
So
God.
it's crazy that they're risking like
They're getting
future,
and they're going to get it for pennies.
future investment just to
Yeah.
have money now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
They completely risked it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Barca is like literally that homie. Like you loaned him money like 5 months ago.
He's bought a new car.
He
And you see him with new shoes.
You see him out every weekend, like getting drunk.
He's saying,
buying
yo, you guys
rounds.
want drinks?
He's buying rounds. He's doing bags in the bathroom. Like, and you're looking at him like, what? And he does these ones to you.
He goes, hey, brother, I'll get that to you.
Yeah.
Soon.
Oh, good, yeah.
Soon, bro.
Let me buy you a drink.
Also, you know that
Dissolving them as
you know
a
they
club
spend all the
completely.
money to do. So they've put the whole banner Spotify Stadium around the stadium, but they're not playing in the stadium.
Huh?
They're not playing in the stadium this year.
Oh, they're doing what Madrid did.
They're doing what Madrid did. They're playing in a smaller stadium because their stadium's literally getting redone. The whole top is being made round. The whole stadium, you know how it's like this? It's being made round and they're putting a roof on it. So they're doing that during the season. So this year, they literally just spent all the money to put all the Spotify...
That's not them spending the money. That's
Yeah,
Spotify
but-
spending the money.
They spent all that money to make it look like that for no one to play in it.
Yeah. All right, and then playing in a smaller stadium, that's a lot less money.
Less
than
money?
the
A lot less
biggest
money.
Stadium in Europe.
98.
Who knows what they're doing?
Because Madrid,
doesn't make
Madrid
sense.
played at like a
They played at their training stadium.
Yeah.
stadium. Like it was like 25.
yeah.
Only
it was-
one side
Yeah.
had seats.
Yeah. So yeah,
But Madrid have money.
Yeah.
And they don't just
They're not
spend
struggling
stupid
at the
every
moment.
year. Yeah.
that's true.
They're buying smart.
And they win still.
Yeah, and the President's Super League.
Yeah.
Super League.
And they're
Super.
super
So
pro.
this episode, I don't even know. That's a bloody good episode. I don't think there's ever been a better football podcast in Australia. There hasn't been.
Just then.
So if you're watching me and you think we need someone to be the ambassador of our brand, and you've seen
specifically.
that perform, like us obviously, but me specifically,
Not with your take, not the way you performed.
me
on this
specifically,
Yeah.
send it whatever you want over. I'll wear it. If scarf doesn't matter. I'll wear it. Beanie doesn't matter.
You had a deny howler episode.
Which one? I didn't have any howlers today. Actually, I was good.
You guys be the judge.
Yeah, you be the judge.
Let us know. Comment down below.
Also,
Yeah.
if you want your water sponsor, I can put anything on here.
Tell them. Tell me you want to wrap this up.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We've been Let 'Em Shoot. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.